Hi, welcome back to Jonesy Chats Wrestling. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're on location today. We're in the beach. Looking forward to SummerSlam. Really good to be on the beach, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, lovely and warm.
Yeah, lovely and warm tropic. I know it's great to be here. But no, what we're going to do today, go over SummerSlam predictions, SummerSlam 2021, down from Las Vegas. Are you excited for the show? There's some good matches. I'm quite looking forward to seeing it on paper. I think there'll be some good moments.
Some of them feel like some repeats from Raw and stuff like that, but then there's I'd probably say there's three matches in total. I'm honestly genuinely looking forward to see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll start at the beginning then. So if we start first, we'll go for the SmackDown tag team titles. So we've obviously got the Usos defending the belt against the Mysterios. For me, looking at this, the Usos, we've obviously had this match a few times. They won the belt back on July 18th at Money in the Bank, which was a title change. On the house shows currently, they've been doing quite a lot of feuding with the Mysterios. For me, I think this is an okay match. In terms of an early prediction, I think the Usos to win. They're not dropping the belts here. I think the Usos, they really want to get behind them with Roman. Roman's obviously the main thing on SmackDown at the moment. I don't see the Usos dropping the belt here. Although it'd be fun for an underdog story. What's your predictions and thoughts of the feud so far?
I've gone for the same. I'm going to go with the Usos. From SmackDown this week, I'm kind of getting the impression that they may be looking to split Ray and Dom up. Just from sort of Ray blaming Dom for them losing the titles and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't see a reason why as they give these titles back to him. So maybe I don't know. Maybe they push Dom as a heel son against his father, and we get a Ray versus Dom feud out of it. I don't know, but yeah, I've gone with the Usos personally.
That'd be fun. Obviously, looking at the house shows they've been doing Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio and Cena against Roman Reigns and the Usos. Obviously, Cena and Mysterio has been going over a lot. I don't know if that's John Cena that's been the factor in that, but when it comes down to it, this will be a really good match, Imran. I think it'll be better than the Money in the Bank match we saw back in July. It's great to see the tag team titles on the pay-per-view, so I'm happy to see that. I just really hope it's going to sort of deliver because obviously we've seen this match quite a few times. We've seen it sort of in June a couple of times. You saw it in July. It's one of the things where we've seen it quite a lot. I'm just hoping it's going to be something new. But I really hope the Usos go over. I really think the Usos need to stay strong. When swapping the belts to Mysterios here, it'll be great for a crowd buzz. But for me, the story is the Usos, really. They're the money team in this match. I don't know what you think about that, Steve.
Yeah, 100%. So they've been putting on when obviously one of them has been injured. Together they've been putting really good matches on. Like they've had their feud with the New Day was exceptional, and yeah, I think they just need to keep hold of them. I think you need to find. The problem is with SmackDown with WWE in general on their main roster is there's not a lot of established tag teams. So I don't know unless it goes to maybe Street Profits or that's the only ones I can see. And to be fair, it's probably the next feud I'd want to see because Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins can put on some really solid matches. So you throw the Usos in with that, and that could be a good feud going forward.
They picked up a big win on SmackDown against the Alpha Academy, so that would kind of make sense, really. I think clearly Usos against Montez and Ford, that'd be a fun match. But you got anything else you add before we go forward to the next match?
No, go for it, man.
This next match should be absolutely fantastic. So this is the United States title. It's Sheamus versus Damian Priest, defending champion Sheamus. Clearly, this is a Sheamus. He's on a losing streak. I don't know if you noticed that. He's lost to Drew quite a few times. He's been losing. He's lost to Damian Priest, obviously, back in July as well. He's not really done well ever since he beat Humberto Carrillo in the last title defense back in July. He's not looking good. When we look at kind of Damian Priest, for me, it's nice to see him back. He's not been on a pay-per-view since the Zombies back at WrestleMania Backlash, where he got injured, unfortunately, for a short while, alongside The Miz. But great to see Damian Priest here. I think for me, this is going to be a really, really good match. Damian Priest, since he's come back, has looked kind of strong. He's got these wins over John Morrison. He's also had wins previously, obviously, over John Morrison a couple of times. He's also beat Sheamus, as you said, crucially earlier. I think for me, former NXT North American champion Damian Priest, this is a point where he's going to win the belt here. I think this Sheamus's run since he won the belt at WrestleMania by beating Riddle has been really, really good. But Damian has to win. What's your thoughts on the feud and who's going to win?
Yeah, I mean, the feud itself, apart from say Priest was missing from TV for long periods of time, Sheamus has been doing fantastic as a character in general. Like his feuds with Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, is all elevated it. And then obviously just for Priest to come back in and kind of now be the guy that says, I'm going to take this title off of you. It's all worked out really well. And so, yeah, Sheamus, start of the year, I wasn't Sheamus' biggest fan, but he turned my mind. And yeah, so he's done great since. But I've gone the same with you. And I'm going to say Damian Priest. I think Sheamus has had a run with this title now. And yeah, but it just looks like Priest will win this.
I think for me, it's great to see this title defended. This is a title that's not been defended on pay-per-view since WrestleMania. We need to start having this title defended every single month, so it'll give it that. But early prediction, something to do with Sheamus' kind of face mask. I think that'll be involved in the finish, but I think it'll cost Sheamus inadvertently, which would be good. But will you be happy to see Damian Priest as your new United States champion? I think he could do some good stuff.
Yeah, he could do some good stuff as long as he's booked well. Say, like we said, he's been off TV for long periods of time since WrestleMania Backlash. So I think if you gave him the title, well, mind you, in fact, it's the US title. He could win this and still be off TV for another 2 months for WWE. But hopefully, it will start pushing him up the card more.
I agree. Moving forward, so we've got this next grudge match. It's Drew McIntyre against Jinder Mahal. For me, I'm looking forward to seeing this. This has been something that's been building for quite a while. We thought when Jinder come back, this would be a money match they would do. Crucially, Drew McIntyre, ever since he's kind of lost the belt earlier in the year, back at one of the early pay-per-views of the year, he's obviously been in the recovery. Couldn't quite beat Bobby Lashley on numerous occasions. He is able to get certain wins over Sheamus quite a lot, but obviously he's facing Jinder Mahal. This is a Jinder Mahal, former world champion in 2017, but he's obviously not a strong Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, for me, looking at this guy, it's great to see him back. It's nice to see him on a pay-per-view. This is his first pay-per-view since WrestleMania 35 back in 2019, so great to see him back. For me, I think this will be okay. I expect some shenanigans maybe involving the sword and obviously shanking Veer outside doing stuff, but there's only one winner here. Drew McIntyre's going to get a win here. I think this is the rebuilding of Drew. What's your thoughts on the feud and who's winning?
Yeah, this is exactly what Drew needed from after his whole run against Bobby for this for that WWE Championship. I said that he needed to be rebuilt, and Jinder's the right guy to do it because you look at it previously over the weeks, and the crowd is hot for Drew when he is the babyface against a heel like Jinder. And yeah, 100% this is going to be Drew picking this up. It should be a really good match. These two have chemistry from their days in 3MB. The whole storyline itself, I thought, has been really entertaining over the last couple of weeks. It should be really entertaining. So this is again a perfect way to rebuild Drew McIntyre back up the card.
I agree. I think what's been quite interesting is when we have seen Drew and Jinder face. Obviously, that one match back at the start of July, I thought it wasn't too bad. Drew got the win by DQ. Obviously, Drew's done a great job of destroying Sheer and Vanky. He's not obviously pinning them, but he's getting disqualification wins. Obviously, Veer did get one win over Drew McIntyre, which was a disqualification. But for me, Drew needs to win more. I'd like it'd be great to see Jinder get the win. I just don't see it. I think Drew's winning this. I think they're going to rebuild Drew. Have you got any thoughts on that before we go into our next match?
No, go for it, man.
Okay, our next match, this should be really, really good. I think this is going to be match of the night. I'll put it out there early. It's Edge versus Seth Rollins. When we look at this is an Edge. Ever since he's come back at Royal Rumble 2020, Edge hasn't really been able to get the job done on pay-per-view. This is an Edge. He's already lost to Roman Reigns back at Money in the Bank. He obviously lost in the triple threat at WrestleMania. He does have wins over Jey Uso and Randy Orton on television. For me, Edge, it's great to see Edge back. He's a legend. I think he's done some great work. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do with Seth Rollins. But when we look at Seth Rollins for me, this is another guy that's sort of not been particularly consistent on pay-per-view. He did get wins over Cesaro. He's obviously had the odd win or two. The thing with this, I think, is Seth really hasn't been on many pay-per-views this year. I just think it's one of the things. Cesaro beat him at WrestleMania. So I think for me, Seth is not doing particularly great. Edge is not doing particularly great. So it's a really open match. But I think for me, I'd love to see Seth win. Seth needs to start winning to rebuild himself. He's another one that I think giving Edge the win here. Edge couldn't beat Roman Reigns the previous two times he's tried. Seth versus Roman Reigns is a new match coming out of this potentially. So I'm going to go for Seth Rollins. What's your predictions and thoughts of the feud?
For me, this is probably the hardest match to call on the night because, like you said, neither of them have had a good run this year, but this has the potential to be match of the night. It's just where the story is going to go from here. I don't know. I mean, like I initially thought that maybe Becky might come back because obviously after SmackDown on Friday, you had Seth talking about how Edge has been doing things for his family and Seth is doing things for his family, and obviously Becky is his family, and obviously Edge and Becky have an altercation from when Becky was a heel, and obviously she mocked Edge before he came back, and this could possibly lead on to a Seth and Becky versus Edge and Beth match, but the dynamic of heel and face between Becky and Seth is really hard to book at the minute. But the only thing I worry about is if Seth wins this and he wants to be next for that Universal Championship, how they're going to book it going forward. I'm going to say Seth anyway, but it's just a weird how they're going to go from after this match. I don't know.
I think the thing with Seth, clearly on the house show circuit, he is losing to Big E every single week, or every single show, which isn't particularly a good sign. But for me, they have to do some sort of rebuilding. I think Seth, as I said, he needs to win more. I think Seth as Roman could be a good match if it's done right. I think your next program is Roman Reigns, Finn Balor. I think that's the holdover feud to allow time for Seth to beat more people. But really, really happy to see this. I think what I would love to have seen to make it a bit more interesting is either a falls count anywhere or no disqualification element. I think that could have been really, really good using the venue, going out to the crowds, all that type of thing. I think that could have been interesting to see. What I also would love to have seen is if they would have put Cesaro in there, maybe as a special referee, just to sort of see how he handles it and stuff. Because Cesaro obviously isn't on this pay-per-view and he's got a lot of history with Seth Rollins. I think it could have been fun. What's your thoughts of that?
Yeah, that's to say that would make a lot of sense because it would give more of a character dynamic for Seth because obviously not only does he have to worry about Edge, he has to worry about Cesaro and the fact that he may get screwed over. But yeah, so it would have been an interesting dynamic. I mean, like you said, they're full count anywhere. Again, I think probably would have added to this, but it should still probably be match of the night. This.
It'll be incredible. I think it'll be really, really good. I think it's a big time match. It feels like a WrestleMania match to me. So I think it's definitely SummerSlam worthy. I think it's a great addition. We're going to go forward to the next match. This one's going to be absolutely cracking. It's a SmackDown Women's title. We've got Bianca Belair defending the title, basically against Sasha Banks, returning Sasha Banks. For me, when we look at this, Bianca Belair, she's been a really, really good champion ever since she won the belt at WrestleMania Night 1. She's been really, really credible. She's had some fantastic matches with Carmella, Bayley and stuff. She's not really losing. And when we look at kind of Sasha, this is obviously her first pay-per-view back for quite a while. She's been away for quite a bit of time. I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing this. Interesting note on the house show circuit going into this, Bianca's been getting wins over Sasha at every single show, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that says anything. And a crucial note, this will be the first SmackDown Women's title defense since June. So it's not been defended very much on pay-per-view, if that makes sense. So it's first pay-per-view defense. In terms of prediction for me, I think Sasha Banks needs to win, really. I think Bianca's been a great champion. I think a lot more will happen if Sasha's a champion. I think Sasha could play off that. She really needs to win. I don't think she can afford a loss here. And I think what I would do if I was booking it, I think you need Sasha to win. And I think it should lead to potentially hair versus title at Extreme Rules the month after, which could be really, really fun. What's your prediction and thoughts of the feud?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sasha as well. I think that, again, the whole Carmella and Zelina thing from SmackDown as well will probably come into it. And we may even get, I don't know, the Bella twins or someone turn up and try and even the odds. But yeah, I can just see Sasha picking this title up. She's got the numbers in her favor. So things might change on Friday because of obviously we've still got a SmackDown to go at time of recording. But the way it's been going at the minute, yeah, it looks like Sasha's going to pick that title back up.
I think they've done a great job of solidifying Bianca Belair's run. Obviously, she's beaten such people, Selena Vega and stuff like that, Carmella and stuff, and Bayley. I think this will be a really good match. This is a money match. I think they could do really well. It's not been built up with much time, which is a shame, but looking forward to seeing this. I think this program isn't done either way. Whoever wins this, I think we're going to have another match at Extreme Rules. I think that's the next chapter.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into the next match, or do you want anything else you want to add on that one?
No, go for it, man.
Okay, so our next match, this is a triple threat for the Raw Women's title. We've got defending champion Nikki Ash against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. When we break this down, so this match for me, looking at it, it's going to be an okay match. I think in ring, we've got Nikki Ash. Obviously, this is Nikki Ash that's been on a run. She's pretty unstoppable. She's been beating people generally. The only time she kind of lost, she had one loss to Charlotte back in July, which was kind of a fluke. But on the house show circuit, she's got wins over Rhea Ripley repeatedly. She's beaten Charlotte Flair as well. She beat her in the no-holds-barred match. When we look at kind of her opponents as well, Charlotte Flair. So Charlotte Flair, for me, she's been a mixed bag. She's won that. She was obviously the former women's champion. She did win the belt at the pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, but then obviously drops it the night after. And she's not on a good run. Whenever Nikki Ash is involved, generally she's lost or she's not done very good. And when we look at Rhea Ripley for me, she's been on the resurgence. She was pretty solid as a champion, but the minute she dropped the belt, we've not seen much of her. She's only had one match and where she beat Nia Jax. So for me, I think it's an interesting thing. Crucially enough, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to go for Nikki Ash. I think Nikki Ash will win. The reasons for that are I think Charlotte and Rhea will cancel each other out. And I think Nikki Ash's championship run designed to sell merchandise going into Halloween and later parts of the year. I think that's what it'll come down to, the fundamentals of it. What's your thoughts on feud and the prediction?
It's been a bit awkward, really, because I think there's underlying matters with this one. Like I said, with Ric Flair asking for his release and then obviously turning up at Triple Mania this weekend, I got a feeling that this might come back to bite Charlotte in the arse because I think she might be on the end of some repercussions for it. I can't see Rhea winning this. So Yeah, it probably is going to stay with Nikki Ash because I said, I think there's things going on backstage, unfortunately, that will cost Charlotte this one. Let's be honest, Charlotte is the top female in the company, probably. There's not a lot of us at the minute that are doing what she can do. But I just say, I think other things going on. This one's going to stay on Nikki Ash.
I think for me, I'm so sick of the Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley thing. Like, we had it so many months. Like, if we're being honest, like, it's great to have Nikki Ash in there, but it's not exactly like you're adding a Becky Lynch. I thought they would have gone for a Becky Lynch in this kind of role, but I think it'll be an okay match. I think it'll be kind of solid. But for me, I agree with you. I think Charlotte Flair, for me, she may be the one that takes the pinfall, but really in an ideal situation, I'd love to see her win. But I think Nikki Ash, unfortunately, we're obviously potentially going to have one title change in Sasha. I don't see them changing the title here as well.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is obviously with the draft coming up soon, they need to split up some of these because the women's division is so small.
Yeah,
it's really hard to not get repetitive matches with these guys every week. So, like Charlotte and Rhea need to be split. It's getting to the point where Sasha and Bianca need to be split because we've seen that quite a lot as well. I know we saw Bayley and Bianca a lot, but with Bayley being injured, she's going to be out for a period of time that when she could stay on SmackDown and when she come back, it'll feel fresh again. But I think depending on how the results go, you'll see one of Charlotte and Rhea go to SmackDown and then one of Bianca or Sasha go to Raw when the draft comes up.
I think that's sensible. I think if I was booking this, what I'd like to see is I'd love to see obviously Nikki Ash. I thought she wins. I can't deny it. She's going to win. But I'd love to see on Raw the next night that you get basically Raquel Gonzalez coming over and attacking Nikki Ash. I think that would be a good program. Obviously, if Raquel Gonzalez does drop the NXT Women's title, which we believe probably take over on Sunday as well, would you be a fan of that, or do you think Raquel's not ready to come up and challenge for the world title on the main roster?
No, I think she is. But it's the problem I have with NXT call-ups which is the running problem with WWE is they completely change the characters from what they are.
She'll be a
from
baby
NXT.
face when she comes up. She's a baby face now, won't she?
She'll be the heel.
She'll be a heel.
So this is my problem is that everyone's used to seeing her on NXT as this was now the baby face to Dakota Kai's heel. But bringing her up and having her as the heel, the continuity here is just irritating with WWE. So that's the only problem I've got with it. And it's been, unfortunately, it's been the same with every NXT call up, really. There's not many that they've brought up that have stayed the same character they were from NXT.
Definitely. I'm going to quickly go forward with this. So our next match, this is for the Raw men's title. And he said Raw women's there. The Raw, it must be the sun to me on the beach getting to me. The Raw men's title. It's Bobby Lashley defending the belt against Goldberg. When we look at Bobby Lashley, he's been a really, really solid champion ever since he won the belt, obviously beating The Miz on Raw. He's been really, really kind of solid. We look at this, he's had wins over Drew. He's beaten Kofi. He's beaten generally everybody he's kind of faced. He's had wins over Keith Lee. For me, I think Bobby's looked really, really good as a champion. I think he, crucially, whenever he's under fire, whenever the title's at stake at a pay-per-view, he seems to retain. They did a great job last year building him up. I really kind of enjoyed his work. I think he's really, really good. I think he lost himself when they're in the Thunderdome towards the end with the women and stuff every week. But ever since they've gone and he's been sort of back to just him and MVP, I've really kind of enjoyed his work. When we look at his opponent, this is Goldberg. What more can I say? Obviously, former WWE champion. He's the man that ends streaks. He's the man that kind of not destroys, he's the man that kind of ends winning runs. This is a guy that beat Kevin Owens to win the Universal title. This is a guy that beat Brock Lesnar. This is a guy that beat The Fiend. This is a Goldberg that has always got a chance of winning. Crucially, in Goldberg's last match at the Royal Rumble this year against Drew, I thought it was a really good match. For me, this match is going to be really, really quick. You're not getting a new champion here. I've got to put it out there. Bobby Lashley to win. And I think this will lead to Bobby Lashley, Big E. I think Big E will come over pretty soon. That's kind of what my prediction is. What's your thoughts of the feud and who's going to win?
The problem I have is you might actually have Goldberg win. I think with the Saudi Arabia show coming up, I think it's an excuse for them to drop it to Goldberg to then have the repeat at Saudi Arabia for Bobby to pick it back up. It's not what I want. It's the feeling I get because it's Goldberg, and obviously we know how Goldberg infamously books himself to win because, like you said, he beat The Fiend because he didn't want to lose to him. And I've got an underlying feeling that Goldberg may win this, but personally, I want Bobby to win. I think Bobby should retain. They did the right thing the other week when they basically reset his character, when he basically told MVP no more women and all this kind of stuff. And they've done the right thing for him to get him back on track as a top champion in the company. But yeah, I'm just going to say Bobby, but I've just got this underlying thing that Goldberg may win.
I think the thing with it is, my understanding is Goldberg had a two fight deal like every year. So he had his first fight with Drew. This is the second fight, unless he's got an extension on that. Hopefully that rules that out.
The only thing is obviously with them bringing his son into the storyline, because it's like it makes sense if you're going to bring his son in for one match just to have as a small side part to a story. I don't know. So like I said, Goldberg winning again just to lose in Saudi, it kind of makes sense because I'm not being funny. Yes, he's contracted to 2 matches, but here's $1 million from all these superstars we've released. You can do another match in Saudi Arabia for us, can't you? And Goldberg will be like, yep, I'm sure I will.
Of course. Do we see potentially Big E cashing in? For me, I don't really see it happening here. Big E's not going to be a coward. He's going to be one that I'm cashing in. I'll tell you I'm cashing in. I don't think we'll see it.
Big E's got to get the briefcase back off Bull Corbin, yeah?
He has got to get back in. But he has got it back on. But the SmackDown, I don't see. I think this whole thing with the briefcase off topic is designed really to get Corbin to happy Corbin, what they've trademarked months ago. I think that's kind of where it's going to go. I don't know how they'll do that.
I reckon they're going to trick Corbin. I reckon they're going to get him to sell the briefcase. Instead of cashing in, he's going to sell it.
Yeah, of course he will. We'll sell it to the worst possible person, probably. But no, there we go. You've got anything else to add before we get to this main event?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, so this is the main event. This is for the SmackDown title, Universe title even, sorry. It's John Cena, the return of John Cena against champion Roman Reigns. So when we look at John Cena, it's great to see John Cena back. Obviously, we've not seen him since WrestleMania last year, 36, where he lost to The Fiend in that Firefly Funhouse. It was absolutely crazy. It was great fun. Loads of flashbacks to NWO and whatever else. Obviously, with Cena, his career stands at 16 world titles at this point. Obviously, he won his last world title back at Royal Rumble 2017, where he beat AJ Styles. If Cena's ever able to win against Roman Reigns, he will break Ric Flair's record. But this will be his first ever Universal title. So John Cena's obviously not been a world champion since he dropped the belt back at Elimination Chamber of 2017 in the Chamber, where Bray won that one. For me, great to see Cena back here. Really enjoyed the promos they've done on SmackDown. I think it's very much The Rock versus John Cena again. Really kind of enjoyed it. On the house show circuit, John Cena every single day or every single week seems to be facing Roman Reigns with the Mysterios. I'm presuming obviously John's going over as well. Crucially with this, for me, I think John Cena is a good opponent for Roman Reigns. In terms of Roman Reigns, this is Roman Reigns that's been unstoppable. He won his last pay-per-view Money Back against Edge, unsurprisingly. The guy that beat Daniel Bryan and Edge at the same time, basically. He's another guy that hasn't lost since 2019, as we say every single week, like every single review we do. He's the best thing in WWE at the moment. He's got a lot more longevity. For me, there is only one win here. Unfortunately, due to logistics and contracts and stuff, Roman Reigns to win. I think this is gonna basically be a way to get John Cena just to get the crowd in and say goodbye. I expect to see Finn Balor and Roman Reigns in the coming months, and then we're going to get Roman Reigns and The Rock. I think for Survivor Series. I think that's sort of the program will start as of that going into WrestleMania next year. What's your thoughts of the match and who's going to win?
Like you said, there's too many things outside of WWE that basically hands you the result with this one. This is, I reckon, actually one of the possible matches that could be match of the night. I think there's a lot riding on it, especially after the promos last week, and depending on what happens this week on SmackDown. To say the interaction between Roman and John on SmackDown last week really sort of amped this match up a bit, and like John's saying, all he needs is that 1, 2, 3. But yeah, you're going to see Roman just, I reckon, absolutely dominate him. He is literally going to smash him, and he's going to just completely destroy him in this. As for John winning that 17th title, it's just one of them things like you don't think you're ever going to see it happen. It's just one of them, like, no one's ever going to beat Ric Flair's record. It's just going to be tied with it. But yeah, the story writes itself, we'll say, with everything going on that side. And it's going to be a Roman Reigns retain. And like you said, on to Finn Balor and then on to The Rock.
The only way that Roman Reigns loses if it's a quick title run for John Cena just to get one over on Ric Flair. That's the only kind of way they'll do it. If Roman Reigns somehow loses by interference and then John wins, then he drops it on SmackDown or something. But for me, I think it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what they do. I think there'll be a lot of near falls. I think John Cena will push Roman Reigns to the limit, but crucially, this is a Roman Reigns that can't be stopped. This isn't somebody that we know that he's facing that's going to be there all year round, which kind of hinders what they can do. But I think it'll be fun. Looking forward to seeing what the crowd reaction is. I think Roman Reigns has done some great work on SmackDown, like really hyping up the crowd and stuff like that. But for me, I think on paper, this card looks really, really good. Although some of the matches are predictable, I think with the fans back, I think it'll be a really, really good sort of event. I know it's going to be under 3 hours. They've obviously got the Manny Pacquiao fight later on, which I promised people to be out by. But what do you think of it being on a Saturday night? It's kind of a change, isn't it? It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it is kind of strange because it feels almost like an NXT takeover because takeovers used to be on a Saturday night. But like you said, they had their reasons for doing it. Obviously, I've mentioned before that I reckon the big 4/5 pay-per-view should be 2-night events, so you get all the champs on there. Because like I said, we've got no Raw Tag Team Champions on this pay-per-view, which is a shame. But yeah, it's like I said, it's easier now because especially for people who do reviews for wrestling and all this kind of stuff that they can do it on a Sunday now instead of a Monday morning. So yeah, it should be good.
I'll put it out there as well. Obviously, with this big weekend with CM Punk apparently coming to AEW on Friday, do you believe WWE are going to have a counter? Do you believe that WWE can pull anything off to try and sort of get people talking coming out of the SummerSlam event? And if so, what do you believe they could do, if anything?
The only thing they can probably do that would be on par with a CM Punk return is having Becky Lynch return. There's not
that's the trick in the book, isn't it? That's the last
that's
trick.
Really sort of the only thing because, like I said, everyone's been saying for months, "Oh, Becky's due back. Becky's due back." So I'm not being funny. She had a kid, so there's no sort of written time for her. I know she has actually signed a new contract with WWE, but it just depends what they want to do. It's the only thing they can do to counter it. The thing is with Rampage not being on at the same time as SmackDown, it's really like, I'm not being funny, people can watch SmackDown then switch over to Rampage, so that's not really going to play into it. But yeah, I think it, like even little things like if Adam Cole was to appear on SmackDown or at SummerSlam, that's not going to be on the same level as CM Punk returning. So yeah, that's the only thing they can do is bring Becky back.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible prediction. I think that would get people talking. I don't think it'll be as big as CM Punk. There's nothing really we can do that make it as big as CM Punk. But
it's the biggest thing that they've got that's an equivalent to a CM Punk return.
What I'd really like to see is I'd love to see them. Obviously, last year at SummerSlam, we had Roman Reigns come back. Shockingly, he came back. That was a nice way to kind of end the show. I think for me, I want to see them go out with a cliffhanger at this pay-per-view. I want to see them go out with something. Let's see Roman Reigns sort of win the match and then have his next challenge or something happen. Let's end this. Not that Roman celebrates. That's the end of the show. Let's actually do something. Like
give me something to tune in for next week.
Definitely. I was watching the AAA Triple Mania show. Quite new to Triple Mania, and AAA is a promotion. That's Lucha Libre, stuff like that. Even though I couldn't understand a lot was going on, when I got the translation and stuff, on their main event, what they had was they had people basically, they had swerves, they had interference, they had loads going on, they had a haircut and all sorts. There's loads and loads going on. We need layers to storylines. I think it's great having a match, have an emotional match. Maybe they'll do something like, I don't know, Roman Reigns offers a hand to John, John takes it, and then Roman low blows him or something like that. I just want to see some controversy.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
The thing is, I've heard about Triple Mania for years, that how like their Triple Mania is like basically it's their equivalent to WrestleMania, and like I've always heard people say that it is one of the best shows of the year. It's up like anywhere from any promotion. Triple Mania is one of the ones to watch. But like you said, it's not how Vince does things, unfortunately. So as much as like that main event sounds interesting with all the people doing run-ins and the double crosses and all that kind of stuff, it's just not WWE TV, unfortunately. We may get, I don't know, yeah, like you said, we need something to make us come back and watch SmackDown Friday. Hell, we need something to make us come watch Raw on a Monday, let alone SmackDown on a Friday.
Yes,
but
we
yeah,
do.
it's just one of them things, man. Like I said, I really need to try and watch Triple Mania to see what the hype was about. Because, yeah, like I said, for 2-3 years now, I've heard people go on about Triple Mania being one of the best shows of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate you coming on again, Steve. Thank you, as always, to hear your opinion. As always, let us know in the comments what your predictions are for SummerSlam. We really hope you enjoy the show. As always, drop us a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. Please leave a subscribe. We are still on the road to 200. We will get there eventually. Hopefully by SummerSlam next year at this rate. But no, thank you for watching. This has been Jonesy Chats Wrestling, joined by George and Steve. And I hope you have a good day, guys. Enjoy SummerSlam. We're going to go get a drink. Bye.